center field spot you had picked out for him, or I know he's going to play several spots, but is that one you kind of
No, you know, he's really emerged out there. Lujo we thought he'd be on the dirt somewhere, more of that, but we also knew that if the bat was what it is, that we could, you know, move him to center field. He's such a dynamic athlete that, and that was what obviously drew us to him, was his ability to play literally everywhere on the field except pitcher and catcher.
What about the way that bat is translated in SEC play, man? He's really doing well.
Yeah, no, he was the sneaky bat. We thought we snuck out of the portal that, you know, we really didn't have to fight anybody over to get. And
bet you would now.
Yeah, we would. We'd have to, yeah. But so, you know, we really did our homework on him. We really liked him. If you remember, Josh Roberge, who pitched here in 24, was his, even though he's not a pitcher, he's the pitching coach at Dayton where he came from. And, you know, we were able to check with Josh and you know, get a lot of background done on him. And so, yeah, I mean, we kind of knew what we were getting, yeah.
And I know, you know, going into this weekend, I know you said y'all have not talked about being in first place, but have you talked about finishing strong? And if so, kind of what those conversations been like? Oh,
yeah, you always want to finish strong. You want to stay focused. You need to be playing really good baseball this time of year. It doesn't always mean you're going to win just because the league's so tough, right? I mean, you can always run into a guy or have a hiccup here or there, or you look, I mean, there's been some games we've hit a lot of balls over 100 miles an hour and haven't scored. So you want to be playing good ball. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the race or the standings. I mean, that's, you know, for everybody else. You get caught up looking at that stuff, then you lose focus on what's at hand, which is, you know, Friday night right here.
And you're going to be facing an LSU team that's going to be, you know, playing with hair on fire, so to speak, because I mean they're fighting for a spot.
Yeah, they're fighting for their life, you know, and let's not forget, as I've told a lot of people, they were preseason number one in a lot of polls, and they're extremely, extremely talented. I just finished their offensive breakdown. They've got as good offensive bats as anybody we've seen in the league. You know, for whatever reason, their record doesn't show that. You know, obviously we're not there. We're not their practices or know what's going on in their locker room, clubhouse, so to speak, or any of that kind of stuff. So I just know this: they're ultra talented. They've got a really good lineup, and yeah, it's going to be a really good test.
What stands out about their pitching staff?
Their pitching staff, they have the most velocity we've seen all year. You know, I thought Ole Miss was really, really good. Just from a velo perspective, I mean, you look, they threw two guys at us that bumped 100, and I felt like every arm Ole Miss that was right-handed that Ole Miss brought out of the bullpen was 95 to 98. I don't know that, I'm trying to think if LSU's got a 100-mile-an-hour arm. I probably do. Somebody's probably touched it. But boy, they got a lot of 95s to 98s, man, that they just roll out there, pitcher after pitcher. So it'll be the most velocity we've seen top to bottom. This year, if they all throw, you know, they've got a couple guys that are just change-up guys. But yeah, really good.
Which is pretty common in the preseason for teams to talk about Omaha. How much is there talk about winning an SEC regular season? Is that ever on the radar?
Oh yeah, you know, you always have goals, right? I mean, because you know this, if you win the SEC, that puts you in a really good position to get to Omaha. And so yeah, I mean, if it's not one of your goals, then yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for us it is. I mean, and you know, I know what people think about the SEC tournament, but you never know how you're going to be. So you know, it's like SEC regular season, SEC tournament. And then, you know, you put yourself in position to compete in regionals and hopefully super regionals in Omaha.
What's your thoughts of the ABS system being used for the tournament coming up?
I love it. I've been obviously, you know, I think I've been one of the big proponents of it. Talked a lot about it 2 years ago after coming from Major League Baseball, knowing that they were putting it in, knowing, you know, it's kind of on that floor of my last year in Major League Baseball. It was really, you know, it was coming. They were testing it out in some of the lower levels of the minor leagues, and so I've been a big proponent of it. I like it. I know people think it's going to slow the game down. They'll find out it'll actually speed it up.
What would the conversation be like with Dan about when to maybe make a challenge, when to not, or just gonna let him kind of go by feel?
You're going to have to go by feel. You only got 3 seconds, right? I mean, that's the way it works in
sure.
big leagues as well.
Sure.
So just don't be sure. So.
Sorry to make you repeat yourself.
Yeah, no, you're
if
fine.
you said this before, but how big a blow is it to lose a guy like Henry Allen? How do you navigate losing a guy like that?
Yeah, it's a big blow, right? I mean, he's a good player. He's hitting over 300. He's got a lot of double-digit homers, and now you look at it and you go, do you have that on the bench replacing it? Well, no, you don't. But you do have this, right? You've got Kenny Ishikawa who's coming back, and the timing of it is a little ironic. Just I think Kenny's getting back to where he was before he broke his foot. And, obviously Kenny doesn't have Henry's power, but his batting average, he's got a chance to hit for a really, really high average. And so, we'll take that. We have to take that trade-off. It's not that we, whatever, but we'll take the trade-off of Kenny getting on base, and we just need the other guys to keep hitting homers.
And kind of follow up on that too. I mean, the way Ryan Wynn has kind of come on here last few weeks. Lets you put Ryan Black in right field, like you said, let you slide Kenny over to left field, where like there's going to be different players. At that position, you're still going to get some good production.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and it's kind of like I've told people already. I mean, there's just three more probably, but I mean, you look, Bryce Callaway gets in, hits a homer on Sunday. Ryan Wynn, we obviously know what kind of weekend he had, and then Kenny, and so you look at how are we going to fill the void of Henry? We're going to do it with multiple players, getting opportunities based on matchups.
Yeah, go ahead.
How's Cole Johnson coming along? I know it's hard to get at bats during the season with
Sure. I mean, Cole's coming along great. I mean, you look. I mean, he started out kind of hot, and then if you look at his numbers in league play, they're just okay. But I mean, gosh, he was in the extra inning game against Ole Miss that was there. He got 2 or 3 at bats. I can't remember off the top of my head, but was in there. We put him in a big situation. He's continuing to grow, and you'll still see him out there. He's going to get out there.
Do you see ABS as something that could come to college baseball as a whole past the tournament?
I see it in the Southeastern Conference. I don't know if the system that they're using is Hawkeye.
Yeah.
We could sit here and do a whole segment on what that system is. I'm very in touch with that. So the likelihood of some mid-majors being able to invest the money to put it in, I can't speak to that. I think it'll be in the South. If it goes well in Hoover, I see in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
Hopefully as early as next year.
What about the NCAA tournament moving forward? Kind of same thing.
Yeah, kind of. Think about you got the 16 regional sites. What if it's the mid-major that is hosting and they haven't put it in? It's going to be really hard to. So I hope it gets there, or maybe there's another solution, right? That's cheaper, so to speak. So.